All right, welcome back everybody. I wanted to get one more video out before the end of the year. And I got my little old buddy here, his name's Beasley. If anybody's watched some of my videos, you've probably seen him before in a couple of them. Let me tell you something, this is the best dog I've ever had. And I've had dogs all my life. This little guy is just so laid back. Doesn't bother nobody. You don't even know he's around. He just enjoys life. And you talk about the dog's life, he's got it. But we just wanted to wish everybody a happy holidays, really. So let me put him down here and we'll get into what I wanted to talk about a little bit. I really don't have nothing to show you or anything, so I thought I'd take this opportunity to answer a question that I get asked quite often. And let me start out by saying that I'm really the wrong person to ask this question of. I'm no expert at this. I'm just a guy that retired, got bored in the apartment and started putting models together. And I think a lot of it pertains to my blue nose. A lot of people saw that and got inspired and want to start into this hobby. And the question I get asked is, I'm new at this hobby, and what would be a nice starter kit? Well, that's kind of a tough question to answer. I really don't know what your abilities are, what you're capable of doing. Do you have the patience that it's going to take? Do you have the knowledge and the imagination that it's going to take to work with small parts, to build things, to, you know, you have to have some type of common sense and a little bit of knowledge of being able to put things together, I guess that's what I should say. So as far as answering that question, you know, I really don't know your abilities. But if it was me and I was just starting out again, I would start out simple. Don't jump into one of these big fancy models because you think it looks neat and man, I'd like to build that, because there's a lot more to it than just, you know, just that. For me, it was quite easy. One of the reasons was because I am retired, and at the time I built the Blue Nose, I was living in an apartment, so I didn't have nothing else to do. It took me over 8 months to do that, and there were days I was working on it 8 to 10 hours a day. So if you got a job, you're working 8 to 5, and you got a family at home, you know, time is of, you know, it's a commodity that and a luxury you might not have to work on one of these things. But anyway, with that being said, I would start out simple. I wouldn't jump into something. I've had a couple people say, well, I bought the Constitution, you know, USS Constitution, and I'm gonna, boy, that I wouldn't even start on that. That might be another model or two away for me. And one of the reasons I picked the Blue Nose is I had a little bit of knowledge. If anybody watched my videos, you know I built the the HMS Bounty. So I had a little bit of knowledge of shipbuilding, model ships. And so when it came time to pick one that I wanted a nice one, I wanted a nice large model that I could set up on a mantle upstairs, and something that was appealing to me. And so I picked the Blue Nose for a couple reasons. Number one, the rigging. That rigging will drive you nuts if you've never done it before. So I picked a model that only had 2 masts. I also picked a model that the shape of the hull was a nice long sweeping hull. It didn't have a lot of bends in it. If you look at some of the older tall ships, even the Constitution, it has quite a rounded shape up in the bow. And it will take some knowledge of knowing how to bend planking and stuff, and knowing how to plank. So how you lay this one up, how do you cut the next one so that the next one will lay upright. It's pretty involved, and you are going to need the knowledge of ship terms. You're going to have to get on the internet and Google a lot of different. What is a belay pin? What is a windlash? What is shroud lines? What are rat lines? Things like that. Things that you're going to have to just. The only thing I can tell you is get on the internet and look it up, and look up other models. So I've got a couple that I picked out here on the internet, and I'm going to show them to you. And one that I think would be a nice starter model for people that are just getting into this and want to get their feet wet in this stuff. And don't be afraid to maybe start out with some plastic models like I did with the Arizona. That'll give you the ability to see what it's like to work with small parts. You know, you're going to need a lot of tools. And best thing I can tell you is just, you know, I tried to make the Blue Nose when I filmed it very informative, to where you could see all the steps involved that it takes to do one of these. So let me get the camera turned around and show you what I think would be a nice starter kit for somebody just getting into this. If you want to jump right into a wooden model ship, I think I found one that I wouldn't be afraid that it was my first time to get. So let me get the camera reset. Okay, this here is from the Model Expo website. Now I'm shooting over my shoulder here, so Model Expo, and this is where I got the Blue Nose from. It's also called Model Shipways. And if you can see that, I don't know how well the computer screen is going to show up on this camera, but this is called the Willie Bennett. It's a skipjack, 1/32 scale, and you can see here, let me turn this camera around so I can see what you're seeing. It's about $120. And what you see about this is the shape of the hull is pretty much free flowing. You know, there wouldn't be a lot of bending to do with your planking, and it only has one mast. Okay, and it really doesn't have a lot of shroud lines and rat lines on it. Now it does have a lot of little structures, what they call furniture, that you got to build to put on the deck, and every piece of that has to be made. But this is a nice little model for someone that wants to start out with doing some rigging, getting the know-how of it, making some sails, making all the little deck furniture, and planking a model. Now, like I said, I've had guys talk to me. Now you compare that to this one I'm going to show you here, the Constitution. I've had a couple guys tell me that they're starting out in this and that's what they bought. Well, let me tell you, you can see that shape of the hull is you're going to be bending some planks up around the front of this hull here. It's a very complex type of hull compared to the Blue Nose. And look at the mast. You got 3 masts on this one, and each one of these masts has a different section to it. There's the bottom section, the middle section, and then 2 top sections. So there's a lot of rigging goes into this thing. A lot of shroud lines, a lot of rat lines. You know, and not only that, it has a row of cannons on the side of the hull that you're going to have to cut open the side of that hull. So this to me is not a beginner's model. And you look at the price of this. This is not a beginner's model. I wouldn't even have started out with this. It took me 8 months to do the blue nose. I'd probably be looking at close to a year to doing that. And that is spending a lot of time down here. So to me, this is not a beginner's model. And a couple guys told me that that's what they bought and that's what they were going to do. And if you can see here, this is what you get. You get a box with nothing in it but wood. Now a couple of the pieces are laser cut, which makes it easier and to put your haul together. But the rest of it, good luck. You're on your own. So, like I said, if it was me, oh yeah, I can make this bigger. Well, that's not much bigger. If it was me and I was going to start out, I would start out simple. You know, if you got it in your head that your first ship is going to be a wooden ship, then for me, if I can get my computer to work, I would go ahead and start out with something like this. Here's another one down here that's a nice one. I thought about getting this one. Come on, pop up. The Armed Virginia Sloop, 1/48 scale. That's a nice looking little model. This one has a little bit more rigging to it. And it's a nice size. Once again, you're up to $300. Now with Shipways or Model Expo, they'll sometimes give you a code and you can get it a lot cheaper than that. But yeah, I wouldn't be ashamed to start something out like that. You know, you got a lot going on there. You got shroud lines and you got rat lines and things like that. And that's the thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to Google that stuff. You know, take the time to look up, you know, different terminology, and look at other guys that built them. Now I'm sure there's plenty of pictures of this model on the internet. So start out simple. That's what that's my best advice to you. Don't jump into this Constitution or the Siren or the Flying Fish. You're talking a lot of work. Here's this one, the Flying Fish. You're talking into a lot of rigging that goes into one of these things. That's going to be your toughest part. If you've never done it before, that's going to be something that you're going to have to learn. Now this has got a nice shape of a hull, not a lot of bending around the bow or the rear of the ship. But when it comes to that rigging, oh, good luck. So, like I was saying, in answer to the questions that I've been getting, what should I start out with? I'd start out simple. I really would. Remember, you're going to have to buy some tools. And one good advice I can give you: if you're going to build a wooden ship, use wood glue. You'll see a lot of guys using that super glue and stuff like that. Use wood glue. That's the only advice I can give you. That's my opinion. And I swear by it. It's specially formulated for wood. Use wood glue. There will be times on a couple parts that you'll probably need to use a drop of super glue or something like that, especially on your rigging. When you tie a knot, you might want to just put a little dab there to hold that knot. But yeah, without knowing your abilities and the fact that maybe you've never done something like this before, simple, simple, simple. Just start out easy on yourself. Like I said, you're going to need the patience. You know, it takes time. Don't give up on it. If you get frustrated with it or something like that, just set it aside. Go do something else and then come back to it. But don't give up on it. Give yourself a chance. And if you make a part and it doesn't look right, you're not happy with it, get rid of it. Build it again. Make another part. You know, in this blue nose that I did, they gave me enough wood to build probably another ship. You know, I was left with a bundle of wood that was unreal if you watch my videos. So if you build something and you're not happy with it, you don't like it, do it again. So with that being said, let me get my little buddy here. He's laying on the floor. Mama just came home and he's wanting to get back upstairs. So Bees, what do you got to say to everybody? Huh? Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And for those that are politically correct, happy holidays. And if you're not like me and you celebrate it a different way, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, and whatever else. Just have a good time. That's all that's important. A little bit of peace in the world will go a long ways. So what do you say, Bees? Don't. Merry Christmas. Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, that's it for another year. Hopefully next year I am going to get started on this Dora, and we'll get that out of the way. That's going to take some time. I've just been, you know, like I said, living in an apartment, I didn't have nothing to do. Now that I got this house and we're working on things, I just, you know, it's been a year. It really has. It's been a year this coming March that we've been in here, and I haven't built nothing. And I feel bad about that because that's why you guys watch me. But we are going to get on that. I owe that to Solomon, and he was good enough to give that to me, so I owe it to him to put it together. So I will get started on that here probably in about a month or so, and I know I've said that before, but I've got to get a couple things. I've got to get my spray booth, and I've got to get me an airbrush. So it will get done, I promise you. And Beasley's wanting to go upstairs because Mama's up there. So I think that's it. So once again, everybody, Merry Christmas. All right, well, I'm back and I got a special guest. One that you haven't probably seen before. This is Mrs. Claus.
Hi.
And of course we got the Beasley again. He wants to say something to you. But yeah, we thought we'd get together and wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And a happy holidays.
And a happy holiday. She's politically correct. Happy holidays.
No,
Me, I'm Merry Christmas. But for all our friends out there that maybe celebrate it differently, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and whatever else. But for me and my family, it's Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and yours. Ain't that right, Bees?
Say bye. Say bye.
All right, that's it for another year. Thanks
Bye-bye.
for watching.